Well, hi, and welcome to episode 42 of Talking Small Press Comics. That's Steve Keeter, and I'm Larned Justin. And this is a very special edition of Talking Small Press Comics. We're going to be featuring the recent work of small press pioneer Steve Willis.
Steve
And
Willis.
hopefully you know who Steve Willis is, but by the time we're done, you are going to know who he is.
Yep.
So we're really looking forward to this issue. Steve is a very, very witty fellow, and his comics are very different. So we're looking forward to this. Now here's what we've got. We've got all of these. These are all Cranium Frenzies from Steve, and these are fairly recent 2022 and 2023 editions of Cranium Frenzy. So we're going to have some fun. So what do you want to do first? You just want to go in order with number 11?
We can go in order. I saw something where Steve said he hadn't done Morty the dog since 2003.
Yeah, he sent me. I don't know. He may have sent you a letter. He sent me a letter.
That must be it.
Yeah, and it does say that. He says, let me find it here, if I can find it.
I think he said it in one of the comics, too.
Yeah.
But
he said this is the first comic in a number of years, is what he said here.
Yeah.
I'm betting you felt as tentative and rusty as I did with Cranium Frenzy 11. But the main thing is we're both back. Because I had told him I had quit for a little while doing it, too. And he said, well, we're both back. So
I was out of it for a little while too. After
so we were all took a break. Yeah. And so he's back. We're back. Everybody's back, and we got Cranium Frenzy number 11 from 2022.
This is the back of one of the envelopes that he sent.
Yeah, and he always sends. I'll show you a little thing he does.
The time.
Here is a little cartoon. Henry turned his house into a shrine for Buddy Hackett. And he puts a little thing on here that this is Morty Comics number 6015, if you can see that.
Wow.
6015, and he takes these who are on the back of random cardboard, and he hides these all over McCleary, Washington, where he lives. Every time he draws one, he goes out and hides it someplace. He doesn't care if people find it, great. If they don't ever find it, great too.
You told me I didn't, these astounding numbers, like this is the envelope for Morty Comics number 6100.
Yeah.
Which actually it's like a series, it's like a bunch of luggage tags or something. It's a bunch of little.
Yeah, that's something new he started. I got those too, and those are new. Bunch of little, and I wouldn't be surprised if he's hiding those in town somewhere.
Yeah, well, I saw where he was like putting them inside of telephone books or library books and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah, he put them anywhere. Yeah.
But he's been incredibly. Whether or not he's been publishing Morty for 20 years, he's been quite prolific. Quite the artist and quite producer of material. So.
Yep, he's been around and doing it. And just so you know, there's no price on any of his work. He expects a trade if you want his work, or postage, or anything like that. But he there's no price. He just sends them out. If you get on his mailing list, you're going to get one of these. So keep that in mind. Anyway, this is number 11.
Yep.
And this is he's currently retired, you see. And
imagine that.
Yeah, and he's on the couch with the cats. If you look in the first panel, My little angel. So he's on the couch with the cats.
And he says, life has been good since retirement. Wage slavery, no TV, no internet. I threw out my alarm clock and gave away most of my neckties.
And he's not kidding. He does not have internet or anything like that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need internet.
No.
He's got this amazing talent, and he's still sharing it with the world. Like as you said, in unexpected places. You might find it, something in a phone booth or something like. Do they still have phone booths?
No.
If so, I'm sure he's discovered it.
No, teenagers, if they saw one of those, wouldn't know what it was.
They don't even know what a phone booth is, do they?
No, they don't have any idea. On page 5 here is where he talks about 2003 was the last time he did Morty comics. See that?
There you go.
Yeah,
and there's a shadowy, godlike figure there. Telling him that he has to go back to the drawing board, and has to draw Morty the dog.
He's
all kinds of
concerned about that, but he's going to do it. So
this is pretty wild stuff. There's a lot. His imagination is like boundless, Steve.
Oh yeah.
Okay, here he goes. He's hiding.
In case you haven't seen Morty the dog, there is Morty the dog right there. That's Morty the dog.
Now he was hiding Morty comics in a library book. Okay, and suddenly something was hurled and whacked him in the head.
Yeah, and and part of his brain comes out of his ear and goes into this book that he's holding right here, which is the biography of Millard Fillmore, our 13th president.
13th president, which I wouldn't have known.
Part of his brain has gone in there, and he slammed the book on it.
And this creature pops out, but it actually pops out, I think, years later. Because they're like doing like fumigating the books and stuff like that in this library, and but the combination of DNA from his brain matter, they're preserving, fumigated with toxic chemicals. But somehow the combination of the toxic chemicals and Steve Willis's brain matter produced this little birdie guy, little bird-like guy.
Little guy there. He popped out.
Who's in there for the rest of the story.
I mean, it's wild.
You see Steve himself comes to terms with the crazy stuff that's happening around him. The cats are making demands. There's Morty, by golly.
There's Morty, yeah.
Morty's there, and the cats are making demands. They want, for one thing, this. Would you want to, clean this litter box? I don't think I would.
No. On page 11 is the highlight of the issue.
Yeah.
Are you prepared?
Oh, page 11.
Page 11.
Let me just say something.
And maybe the highlight of this entire show.
See if I can. Okay,
we need a little accompaniment.
I got an injured hand. I've got an injured hand.
I know that,
a little bit, so it's not easy for me
to
play right now.
Right.
But maybe we can accentuate the point of how special page 11 is, because there's a song.
There is a song, and this song was written by Steve and his brother in 1960. However, it's made numerous appearances in the book. Yeah.
The song is being performed by various different types of people, opera singers, country singers, etc.
But we're going to do our version. Steve and I are going to do our version of this song. So
let's see what I can do.
Whenever you're ready.
I got an injured hand, so it might sound a little weird, but
that's all right.
Hear that?
Sounds good. Go ahead.
He'll be coming. No, that's not how it goes.
That's the wrong one. Okay.
Yes, I haven't. Okay.
I haven't seen my underpants in weeks. I haven't Haven't seen my under.
Wait a minute. You
What
got the
happened?
idea, right?
Well, why did you stop in the middle of my performance?
Sounded like
Try that again.
we weren't in sync.
Okay.
Let's try it again.
Let's
This
go.
is important, people. I mean,
This
you're
is-
going to
this
give us
is
a
it.
standing ovation after this.
Okay.
I haven't
Seen my underpants in weeks.
Well, I haven't seen my underpants in weeks.
Haven't seen my underpants. Haven't seen my underpants. Haven't seen my underpants in weeks. One more time. I haven't seen my underpants in weeks. Haven't seen my underpants in weeks. Haven't seen my underpants. Haven't seen my underpants. Haven't seen my underpants in weeks. Hey. One of the greatest songs
Thank you.
of all
I'll
time.
accept the Grammy for Larned.
That is one of the
You sang
greatest
it better than
songs,
me.
and it has been in other issues. But if you get 11, it's in there. Yes,
Yep.
sir.
Let me get this headset off.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, I'm trapped.
He's trapped in his equipment, which is probably the same thing that's happened to Steve Willis many times inside these comics. Trapped inside.
Where are we? That
There we
should go straight to the top of the charts.
Yeah, I think so.
Definitely.
Especially when we did it.
Yeah. That's our. So,
and the issue continues with him being retired and all that. And I don't want to give everything away because
I have a hard time thinking of Steve. I've read his comics for years and decades past, and to see the people that I respected in small press comics, and they're all like retiring and stuff. I mean, this isn't supposed to happen,
A little scary, but
feel just as young as ever on the inside,
Yeah.
But I guess it's inevitable. We do get older, but just because you're older doesn't mean you have to stop being creative.
This is Cranium Frenzy number 12.
Mm-hmm.
And this has a story called Season of Shadows. And that's, this issue is not, they're all 19 pages, by the way. All these are 19 pages.
Number 12.
And a story told by Morty the dog about a guy everyone called Carney. And that's the other story in here. So you have two stories.
Morty is back in full force by this time.
Yes. Morty is back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is good to see.
Mm-hmm. And this is the guy they call Carney here. You can see him. He's located right there. That's the guy they call Carney, who doesn't have a whole lot to do with the story, actually.
Yeah.
And you can also see some TV celebrities in here.
Well,
right here.
Carney is living a life. He likes to store stuff in storage units. He's a collector.
Yep.
Time for another storage unit, and Morty says Carney was not an evil or a good guy. He just was.
Mm-hmm. But everything changed when on a special day, something deliciously bizarre took place.
Rod Serling appears on his television set.
Yes, that's what it is right there. Rod Serling
traveling through another dimension, a dimension not only of sight and sound, but of mind.
Right.
A journey into the wondrous land of imagination. Next stop, the Twilight Zone. And that's at the point where
is what triggered
everything changed. Carney's been mistreated by certain rude jerks. Right. And but overnight, all the jerks, narcissists, self-entitled and self-absorbed people in the world became not that way. and Carney himself, not that way.
Yeah.
At first, nobody noticed the change.
Well, they still went to work, watched TV, spent hours squinting at their handheld gizmos. So at first, nobody noticed the change. That's what Morty the dog says right there.
Mm-hmm.
And it goes on.
But let me see, because this is not a normal story. Certain industries became extinct: guns, coal, computer games, meatpacking, tobacco, alcohol, antidepressants, drugs, etc., etc. Inconceivable. It was almost too good to be true, says Morty. Yeah, almost too good to be true. And it was. So what was remaining on the planet after the a-holes were converted to phantoms? The meek. And he introduces a character here, Melbourne P. Wafflepoofer.
Oh, yes.
I like some of the names.
Wafflepoofer is right down here.
Some of the names that Steve
right over
comes
here
up
where
with.
my hand is here. That's him.
Yeah.
But Mr. Peepers is in the TV up here. Did you notice that? Remember Mr. Peepers?
Mr. Peepers.
Yeah.
I've heard of Mr. Peepers. I don't think
Wally
I was a Mr.
Peepers.
Peepers fan. So
yeah, that's who's on the TV there.
Yeah. So when bullies attempted to torment Melbourne, he simply attempted to ignore them. He figured there must be some dysfunctional family reason for the behavior. It had nothing to do with him. So he was very sympathetic towards people. There's a guy that slipped on a banana peel.
Yeah.
Yep. And, so what is all this leading up to?
Well, it keeps on going, and we'll
keeps going
in the middle here. Can't give too much away.
What he says is a fragile house of idealism started falling apart, and he accepted full responsibility. He figured, but then one day, what happened is civilization lost its edge.
Yeah,
everybody was like, nobody was passionate about anything. Nobody was, vehemently opposed or for anything. It was everybody was just on a level plane.
And Morty says here on page 13, my suspicion was that they had become assholier than thou. Proof that although utopian ideals might be constantly noble, human behavior is human. There you go.
Right. And Morty misses the past. He asks for directions to a burger joint, a cigar store, and Mariner's ticket outlet. And this didn't go over well. These people who are all very pacifistic, they're pacifists. Mm-hmm. Apparently, I had become a bad dog. I was surrounded by formerly nice people who were losing it. And you see, the pacifists, they couldn't handle the edge that he's bringing, and they're calling him fascist, racist, sexist, animal.
Yeah.
And then they began to beat him up.
Yeah.
So you see, in a world where only pacifists exist, and there must be more. I'd like to know what Steve is thinking. But in a world of seeming pacifists, a lot of the pacifists are some of the most, I hate to say this, but hate-filled and violent people there are, because they're only peaceful around people they agree with.
Right.
And then if you disagree, well, you get stomped on. I mean, look at Morty. Look at this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So he didn't look too good. He didn't fare too well there.
Yeah. This looks like a good town.
What I like about Morty, one of the things I like about Morty is Morty smokes cigars.
Cuban cigars.
Cuban cigars is right.
Yeah, he asked for
one of the
a
few
cigar.
dogs that I know of that smokes cigars. So in my book, that's pretty good.
Yep.
So I don't think we can go to the end because we don't want to give it away.
Yeah.
And there's always the end is always on the back cover.
There's
Just so
something
you know,
I'll point it out later if I see it. But Steve Willis, when the sound effects that he uses for things are actually descriptions of what's happening.
Yeah, right.
Like here's Morty entering, and the sound effect is forcibly enter. But there's a lot of other stuff. He does this all over the place.
Yeah.
Let me go back to the previous issue. Yeah, like when the piece of the guy's brain, his brain
there's
pops
a sound
up.
effect
Says,
there.
The sound effect says deploy. This one says plummet. That's even that. That's
Yeah.
And this stuff is all throughout the stuff that Steve does. Here we go. This guy's his tongue is sticking way out, and it says elongate.
Well, right here. You see this? Descend.
Descend.
And go right through the trapdoor.
you know exactly what's happening.
Yeah. Other cartoonists might go bang or pow. Not Steve. He's got more description in his sound effects than most people.
So he doesn't need captions because the sound effects
tell the
story.
Right. Yep. And he pushed a button. Also, right here next to that one, he pushed a button, and the sound effect is activate.
Activate. And descend. Right. Yeah.
Also, if you'll notice very closely here, when Morty went down the trap door, his cigar stayed in midair. Oh my gosh. Crazy.
Great stuff.
Great. All right. Moving on.
Morty says, where's he at? This one.
Yeah. What is he? I can't.
I hope I have a soft landing.
Oh, yeah.
It looks like the covers, we got different colored covers. I am colorblind, but this looks kind of goldish.
That's orange.
Orange. Okay.
Yeah.
And, I don't know.
This one.
That's interesting.
Is light yellow. Yeah. And
that's number 13.
13. I got a little
looking
card.
At this one.
In 13, there's 3 or 4 stories. There's and yet I would not sleep. Con 50 It's Consolation Prize. S-O space L-A-T-I-O-N. Consolation Prize. Then there's Terrorist. T-E-A-R-E-R -I-S-T. Terrorist. And then the last story is called
funny stuff like playing with words.
Yeah.
Here's a guy who realizes that he's a cartoon character.
Yeah. Yeah.
In the beginning, the cartoonist created me.
Yeah.
For starters, my life is compartmentalized into a series of narrative panels, and we get another good sound effect on the next page. Well, first of all,
I want to,
he's asking
this panel
for.
Here. This is the one panel here where he says, "I got to look at it to read it. I can talk to you, dear reader, but I can't hear a word you are saying because he's talking in a word balloon, and he can't. You're not talking in a word balloon, so he can't hear a word you're saying."
Yeah, so he knows he's in a comic strip. He knows which page it is. Mm-hmm. He says it's a form of a solitary confinement. If only the cartoonist would supply me with a companion, a friend, an adventure. And so the cartoonist, Steve, does supply him with a friend, a companion. You see him looking at him
right there.
And the next panel is another great, never mind, and there goes your sound effect, loss of materiality. So this stuff is genius.
Oh, yeah. And it's so different, than anything
Yeah.
you're gonna. And what's kind of interesting, I hate to give it away, but I'm gonna. Toward the end of the
Oh, not to.
story,
Hmm.
he eventually gets erased. Look at
Yeah.
that. He gets completely erased. So much for hubris.
What does
Yeah.
hubris mean? I had to actually had to look that word up. What does it mean? I'll look it up again. You
I
can just
think it
keep
means
talking.
humor or something, maybe.
Hubris definition.
Okay.
It means excessive pride or self-confidence.
Oh,
So this guy was pretty confident.
Unfortunately, that's what this guy had, but he
Yeah.
did get erased.
Yeah.
So,
No matter what happened, he figured he'd still be there. He'd be there for all the time because he's a cartoon and people look into
Yeah.
the future. He didn't count on, look at him looking at the eraser. Uh-oh.
oh, coming right at him. Yeah.
So,
And the next story is called the Nobly Prize, and it's about a leprechaun.
mhm.
A little leprechaun there. Yeah.
A leprechaun with a frog growing out of the top of his head.
That's right. Over here, yes, there is a frog growing out of the top of his head, as you can see right there.
The doctor is looking at this. This is
Well,
an
he had to go.
interesting
Yeah, they had to go check
situation.
it out. Yeah.
And there's another sound effect.
Sound
Remove.
effect. Remove. So the doctor was pretty simple to remove it. He just took it off of his head.
Yep.
I don't know how much it costs to have the doctor do that, but it didn't seem like he did much. He just took it right off his head. And
Oh my
the
gosh.
frog is made out of clay, like the kind designed for school children. So he had a clay frog on his head. It posed no health hazard. It was merely placed on your cranium. You are now healed. So, also, you are a very silly person.
Yep.
So the doctor gave him heck. Yeah.
And he sings a song. He's so happy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this goes like, but there was a frog on my head, but I rolled him into a ball after him. Now he's dead. Ate him. Now he's dead. Not magically delicious at all. But it was a leprechaun.
If we would have known the tune, I'm sure we would have sung that. But he doesn't give us the tune to sing that by.
And this is a typical. These little faces. Where am I at? It's hard to do it. Maybe
you can't move your fingers in the right place on these. Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Those little faces. Those little happy faces.
All around the guitar.
Throughout Steve's work.
Mm-hmm.
Those types of happy faces with the large noses and stuff. That's kind of a trademark, I think. Just funny stuff that keeps appearing here and there.
I guess you twist their heads to tune the guitar.
I guess so.
That's what I would think. Yeah.
So a lot of crazy stuff in this issue here.
Oh, yeah. Then we move on to a story called The Anchor. Right here. And that's
and then the thumbnail sketch after that.
Oh yeah, the thumbnail sketch. Let me get over
a thumbnail
to that.
With a little face on it. Starts out with just the eyes, then the face pops up.
Yeah.
And in the thumbnail, he's kind of arrogant. He says, "Obey my will, human. You are under my thumb. I am all powerful and eternal." But a pair of nail clippers takes care of that.
Yep. Snip.
And there he is.
And there he is in the end there.
I mean, this is wildly creative and bizarre stuff.
And at the back of this book, I like because it has Cranium Frenzy bloopers.
Bloopers.
On the page.
Yep. And the thumbnail guy pops up again in the bloopers.
Yeah, he's part of that.
Yep.
He had a big case of the giggles, I guess, when he was doing his thing, because apparently he must have had to do it over when the thumbnail was giggling. Yeah. So.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, Steve.
This is nutty stuff.
And we can move on to number 14.
Number 14.
Number 14.
Yep. That's what mine looks like. You see these
Yeah.
little teeny guys, all these little teeny men, they have a place in the book. You know, there's a story. Look at the face on the character there.
Yeah.
Besieged by all these little men. But yes, indeed.
You know what? I read the what was in 13, but I read what was in 14. Those stories I read were in 14, not 13.
Okay.
So I screwed that up.
No, that's all right.
I don't think it makes much difference.
No, they're all great. I mean,
They're all great.
You
Doesn't
sit and
matter.
read them all in one setting. Like I sat here and laughed for a couple of hours last night just reading through this stuff.
Yeah.
This is out of this world crazy and hilarious stuff here.
Yeah.
Let me see what's going on here. I was first alerted something was up. Myrtle, the party hat cat lady, was moving faster than normal. And there she is. Myrtle.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
The party hat cat lady.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what's this? Some guy singing a song. This guy. Meanwhile, aimless behind it was a strange man in pajamas was behind her.
Oh, yeah.
Singing show tunes with great gusto. And
There
they
are
called
the strange
wind,
men in pajamas.
and they called the wind Maria. Remember that song?
Mariah, wasn't it?
Or
Yeah.
Mariah. Well,
They called
Mariah.
the wind Mariah. Yeah. Which is
At one point, the wind
show.
picked up.
He was singing show tunes with great gusto. It says. At one point, the wind did indeed kick up, and with that, he dispersed a fistful of some kind of dehydrated flakes. You see that?
Yep. As he
He
did so,
called the
he
wind
repeated.
Mariah, and then threw those flakes into the wind.
And then he starts repeating the word sleep in a staccato machine gun style. I'm not sure how that would sound staccato, but it's sleep. Yeah, like that.
Something
but
like that.
Sleep.
Mhm.
He keeps repeating the word sleep.
Yeah.
Uh,
After several minutes of this, he stopped, furtively regarding the frightened residents peering from behind their curtains, and descended into a manhole. So he took off after throwing flakes in the air and all that.
But the narrator, because there was a narrator here, who says, I quickly ran out, collected a small pile of the flakes. Upon adding water in my kitchen, the flakes began to undulate, squirm, and then, here we go, formed themselves into hundreds of tiny little men. And there they go. There's the tiny little men. Yes. And they're all going, sleep, sleep, sleep.
Yeah. In an attempt to thwart them, I tried using the vacuum nozzle to scoop them up, but somehow that only served to increase their number. Oh my gosh.
Vacuum nozzle, yeah.
It just made it worse. I mean, never try to, I knew that. You never try to vacuum up little men. I already knew that.
And this guy tries to get away. He runs he sees a bus. So he runs to the bus, and guess what? The driver of the bus is the guy in the pajamas, the pajama-clad guy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So,
horrible situation.
I mean, I can say you can't make this kind of stuff up, but Steve Willis did.
Steve did. Yeah, you can't make it up, but Steve did. So
and it becomes, this is some of it's really weird and dreamlike.
Yeah.
Like, this guy looks down at where his left hand was, where his hand used to be, and his left hand had become the head of a monkey.
Yeah, right. I mean, yeah. Oh my gosh.
I mean, I could never think.
I would never.
I think I'm an okay writer, but I never came up with crazy stuff like this.
Nothing like this. No.
Yeah.
This
Okay, I
takes the
see
cake.
consolation prize. You were mentioning that. And
This is kind of out of context, but I like it. It's grappling prongs shot out of his nose. And the sound effect here again is deploy.
Deploy. And there's another sound effect below that one, rapidly eject.
Rapidly reject. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this guy, the consolation prize was a box that the guy found. Inside of the box was his new son, a little kid with a square head, just happened to be delivered in a box. And that's his son.
Now, you remember I told you that he draws little cartoons and hides them all over in McCleary, Washington. Well, here is Steve, I can show you this, hiding one of his comics. Somebody comes along and seizes the comic. You can see right there. And then it says, Rassenfrasen, Riggeragum, Despoil, and the guy rips the comic and throws it on the ground, and the title here is The Terrorist.
Terrorist.
The Terrorist. So yeah. Apparently he knows what some people do with his comics when he hides them.
Steve says the story you're about to read is 84.3% true. The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Anyway, you can see what Steve looks like right there, because that's Steve.
That's him.
Hiding the Morty comic. Oh, boy.
So, I mean, it's great to see Steve back making comics in full force, and he's really very prolific now. He's really putting out a lot of great stuff. I corresponded with Steve, I don't know, 30 years ago, but
I did too. You know, when I published the White Buffalo Gazette, he always sent stuff for that.
Yeah. Like I said, Larned and I, some of us disappeared for a while. Tom Fellrath was out of small press for like 25 years, and he popped up recently doing great stuff. Yeah. And once you're in small press, you don't ever really leave it. You
can't. You can't leave it. I think he found out you just can't leave it. It just comes back.
Come back. Yeah.
And here's number 15. How would I say that? Number 15. Again, 19 pages. They're all 19 pages. They're all free. Free for trade, free for stamps or anything like that. And this one is about Milton Teagle, right in the first page. Now, you may recognize Milton Teagle because Milton Teagle is his real name. But guess what? What was his TV name?
Richard Simmons.
Yes, Richard Simmons.
That looks like Richard Simmons to me.
It looks like him. Yeah.
The exercise guru.
Mm-hmm.
The very fey and rather effeminate exercise guru, but he was he was really funny. And
he disappeared from the scene
for a long time.
This guy knows where he went because he went in this guy's attic. He's up in the guy's attic here. This guy right here.
Yeah,
him. Richard Simmons is living in his attic right now. Here's
this guy did. He moved into his old house or something here.
I don't know, but
anyway, he says a few years ago I started to hear strange sounds in my attic during the dark, quiet hours. At first, he thought it was raccoons, but then it crossed his mind it must be Milton Teagle. Of course, it would have
who
to
else
be.
Would it be?
Well, who else could be making strange sounds in the attic?
Exactly.
So,
well, he says the guy says here. First of all, I live in a single-story old house without a real attic where you can store stuff. So far as I know, all that is up there is a deep insulation and heating ducts. He must be very cozy. And there's a picture of Richard up in the attic, and he looks cozy. he's up there, and I think he's fine.
Richard Simmons up there in the attic, and that's okay.
And oh yeah, the eyeball tree in my backyard. There's a small tree that grows eyeballs, and when you walk by the tree, the eyes follow you. It is a bit disconcerting. That's right here.
Yeah, that would
That's
be.
the guy that lives in the house where Richard Simmons lives in an attic. Lives in his attic. He has an eyeball tree.
Okay. This one, I'm looking through it again here, and I read this one late last night. But Morty pops in. A lot of strange stuff goes on.
Yeah.
It gets trippy and bizarre and otherworldly.
Clown gets involved.
Classic drawing of Morty here.
Oh yeah, that's Morty. Ooh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And naturally, it wouldn't be a humor comic. A little pie throwing. He throws that in.
That's cool too.
You know, when he hits the guy, the pie goes a sail.
Yeah, I'm remembering this story. I'm trying to find it. There was a pie throwing machine somewhere.
It's right there. It's right at the top of the page. There's a pie throwing machine right there.
There it is. The perpetual pie throwing machine.
So, whenever you need humor, you go to the pie throwing machine.
There it is. And when you find the next sound effect, you know something is amiss because it says disorder.
Well, yes, something happened to the pie machine, and
pies are going everywhere. People are running for their lives.
it's making a noise that says disorder.
And chaos. There's another one. Chaos right there.
Yeah.
Disorder and chaos.
In the interior back cover is the Buttercube brothers. Now they're in a car and they have a problem. They realize the heat is on in the car and they begin to melt.
Yeah, just a bit out of butter.
Yeah, I mean, what else would happen?
The guy says, "Hey, could you turn the knob on for the radio?"
And the guy turns on the dang heater.
Yeah, he said, "I think that was the knob for the heater."
And they're down here. They're
you
melting
can see them
away.
melting and melting.
Yeah. Okay, can't tell you, can't give anything else away, but oh my gosh. Oh, come
comics.
on.
The back cover here. Comics for cats.
Yeah. Yeah, very clever.
There's a squirrel. There's a goldfish. There's a bird. There's a mouse.
Chicken flavored kitty meal.
So, comics for cats. Show this to your cat. Your cat can relate to every single panel.
Oh.
And we know Steve Willis likes cats because he had the 3 cats in issue number 11. So, and that's number 15. Now, there was another one. There was another little gem. Did you get this one?
I got probably a different one because these are originals. These are not copies. These are originals. So I have this one. He does these little folded paper things, and these are called Morty Comics. This is Morty Comics number 6007.
Holy mackerel!
But I do not think it's a copy. I mean, it could be, but I thought it was original. I may be.
I like this one. Here's a cartoon here. Now, Barker attempted to supplement his dull government work by wearing festive headgear at his desk. And this is what Steve drew. This government worker with festive headgear. And those little faces that I told you about.
Yeah, there they are again.
All over the place.
Yeah.
Just imagine going into work with that on your head, right?
Now, maybe these are not originals, but I know this is for sure. That's an original because it's on this cardboard.
He does put original artwork all over on his messages and envelopes and everywhere else. This looks like it is something that was copied.
Maybe it was.
Long.
Maybe it was, but
and there's no price on it. There's no title. It's just 4 pages. Well, there is Morty Comics number 6057.
Yeah. I like. I'll show you this one. This is number 6001, and the guy says, "Wow, that's one very funny-looking guy." And the other guy says, "You realize, of course, I can read your thought balloons."
Right. So this is like totally zany, original. There's nothing else. Nothing else like Steve Willis's comics.
There's nobody like it or anything. No.
Totally original.
Yeah.
You know, if you think there's nothing new under the sun,
no, he's got it.
There's new stuff under the sun.
Yeah, right.
And this guy's been at it for decades.
A long time.
He just gets better. Better. So
I will put his contact information in the description, his address. But like I said, you send him a trade, he'll send you a comic. You send him some stamps, he'll send you a comic. But he won't. There is no price on the comics.
I did get another one today, but we'll have to talk about it on the next episode because I don't think Larned has got his copy yet. But here's the cover.
No, I did not get that one. Not
number
yet.
16.
Okay, great.
I suspect you're going to get it. You know, I can't speak for Steve, but I'll bet you do.
Well,
and
maybe.
I read it today. I read it just before the show started, and I'm cracking up all over the place. I'm not going to show you. This guy is too funny.
Oh yeah, he's my favorite. He's my favorite humorist in small press. He really is. Well, we're going to change gears a little. We got something from our friend Tom Fellrath. Have you got that?
I had it out, and I'm trying to find it. Where'd it go? Oh, here it is. It's right in front of me.
Yeah, this small press interview from Tom Fellrath, Phoenix Productions.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can explain it to you, he sends an explanation sheet of what this is about. And what you do, you're promoting, this promotes your comics. This one promotes his comics, the one he did as a sample.
Just to start out. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it promotes your comics. A couple pages. It gives you a chance to show the covers of your comics and things like that. And then, if I understand it right, you do what this says on the instructions, and you mail that to Tom, and I guess that he puts this book together for you. Yeah, but I don't know how many copies or anything. I didn't quite understand.
I read it carefully, and it looks like it's an 8-page mini comic.
Right.
And he tells you what to submit. It's
he tells you how to do it.
Cover illustrations, answer a few simple questions, and you send it to Tom. Tom will put it together. He will assemble it, and he's really good at production. He's amazing at production.
Right.
And then he will send you a PDF.
Okay.
You can print
as many as you want.
But it's ready to go.
Yeah. Okay. Now I got it.
And it's sort of a cooperative thing. Mm-hmm. So that I have to reread a little bit, but the thing is, he wants to if there's a bunch of these, and if everybody's doing it, then we can promote each other. Like if you put out a zine, you can take someone else's small press interview, put it in there with your zine, just to promote other people's zines, and they'll do the same for you. So it's a cooperative thing.
So you can get other people's. How do you get those? I know you say you can print out your own. How do you get other people's? I don't know.
Gee whiz, good question. I would say it'd be probably two ways. I'd have to, reread what Tom wrote. Tom is just launching this. So I would say you can ask for the PDF from Tom, or other people may just send you a copy.
That could be.
Or you can ask for an extra copy. I don't know, but he's just starting to work this out. But it is all about promoting small press and promoting each other.
Right.
And so
we wanted to give him
a little bit further, but it's a cool idea.
I'll have his contact information again in the description. So if you're interested in doing something like that, write Tom, and he'll get you going. So.
Yep. He says, what I ask of you, send out at least one copy of small press interview of a publisher who is not you in every mailing of one of your comics or zines.
That's how you do it. Okay.
I will provide the PDFs. So
Okay.
he can. I guess the Tom will be in charge of all this, so he'll have everybody's PDFs. And,
I guess. Yeah.
You can ask him, and
he'll just
he'll
email
send
it to you.
out too. So
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
cool
Anyway,
idea.
that's kind of neat. Yeah.
There's Tom on the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was gone for those decades. Looks as young as ever.
Mm-hmm.
Just like
Yes.
Larned and I, we look as young as ever.
We look as young as Tom.
We
At
look
least.
younger. You know?
Yeah. I
Sorry,
think.
Tom. We look younger than you.
I think we do. Yeah.
We're all young at heart, man. That's what matters, you know.
Okay. I think we have finished. Now we have a couple more, but we're gonna save them for the next show. We have a couple new ones that we've gotten, but
Sneak
we wanted
preview.
to. Yes, Horseman. That's coming up. We've got
Next
that,
time.
and we've also got this one. Small press party. We have that.
Oh, yeah.
And that will be featured. I'm not going to show you too much, but that's going to be in the next show. So we've got things coming up.
Oh, I'm working on, I'll tell you real quick. I'm working on the new UFO newsletter. It's all behind me. It's over here.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's spread all over the bed. But I'm not going to move the camera around.
No.
I also, sneak preview.
There it is. That's a quick peek.
I just ordered a bunch of copies of the #1 reprint, the comic that I printed in 1973, and I just received all these copies for Kablam, from Kablam. So I'll be, distributing these at the Space Convention.
That'll be in
June.
space.
I ordered a bunch of copies. I'll be bringing them along with me.
Yeah, great. Okay.
Yeah. So the reprint of this comic from 1973.
Wow.
And
anything else?
The UFO awards are going to be announced in the new issue of the UFO newsletter, which will be out in a week. Within a week, definitely.
Yeah.
And there might be something else, but I can't think of it right now. But there is one more thing.
Okay.
I'm working on this new issue of and I'd like to get it out before space. If number 10, this is number 1, the reprint.
Yeah.
So here it is, 73, 83, 93, 2003, 2000. 50 years later, I'm going to publish the 10th issue, and I'm going to try to get it out really quick, right after the UFO newsletter. And that's going to have some comments, including something by this guy on the other side over here. Something by him.
Point the other way. You got to point the other way. There. Now you got it.
Of course, some people do go both ways. But, there's going to be something by Larned in there, and it's going to be a mixture of new stuff and reprints and a lot of stuff that was printed before, but it wasn't. I want it in better quality.
Yeah.
So as I said, I was gone from small press for a while. When I got back in, technology was passing me by fast, and I had to do some catching up. So there's some stuff. There's a strip that was drawn by George McVeigh, Roland Tim and George McVeigh, that appeared in Mantra number 11 several years ago, but the quality wasn't very good. No. And I want to get a much sharper.
George McVeigh was an excellent cartoonist. I remember that.
He was very really good. Superb.
Yeah.
And it deserves better printing than what it got when I was just getting back into small press.
Yeah.
But that's going to be in there too.
Oh, good. Good. Okay. All right. I guess we're going to say goodbye because we're done.
That's it, folks.
And I hope you got a kick out of that. We sure did. Anyway, so we will see you next time.
Adios.
Adios.